Welcome back to Let's Laugh About It, the not-so-serious business podcast powered by D2CX. I'm Zoe Kahn, and I'm here to celebrate our wins, vent about our challenges, and bring the D2C and e-commerce community together. Welcome back to Let's Laugh About It. Today we have a special guest from Oats Overnight, and his name is Thomas. I'm really excited to dive into your story and have you tell us a little bit about what you do, how you got to where you are, and everything. So, Thomas, tell us a little bit about your story and how you got to where you are.
Hi, Zoe. Oh, wait, I don't need a lead in, right?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. First off, thank you for having me on this. It's cool to get a chance to chat with you again. And so my story, it's pretty non-traditional. I have a degree in economics, but I immediately after, even during college, I went right into poker, and I just fell in love with poker. So I played poker professionally for 20 years, and then after that, I still love poker. I love the competition, but it can be kind of a toxic space at times, a little bit.
I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah. It's not necessarily the most healthy place for me.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend Brian Tate, who I met through poker, he had started this company called Oats Overnight. Big shocker, right? I was looking to make a change. So I went up to him and, was like, I want to work for you and I'm willing to do whatever and prove myself. So I started, very entry level. I started off in social media, answering comments, telling
Answering comments while you're playing poker?
No, I'd actually quit playing poker at that time.
Okay.
But that would it wouldn't have been a terrible idea. It's something that definitely crossed my mind as well. Yeah. So I started off answering comments, and then I graduated to customer service, and I worked in customer service and CX for a couple of years, and then I was managing CX, and then I moved to director of e-commerce, which is where I'm at.
I love this story because I think a lot of people in CS or CX can feel kind of stuck or, not like it, or they don't know what the path is for them. But that's where I started to. Podcast listeners might probably know that, but I started part-time customer support at Ghost, and I learned everything about e-com through customer support. I feel like it's the best way that you can understand customer end to end, and that role that you moved into is such a perfect role in my opinion. So I think it's a really good success story and very inspirational for those of you who even I don't know, there are a lot of people who get into e-com from marketing or whatever, but I just think that customer support and customer experience is such a good way to start if someone doesn't know what they want to do in e-com, because you touch so many things. So congrats, that's an amazing story.
Thank you. And what you're saying really resonates with me and also my experience. We don't necessarily do this that much anymore, but when we kind of were smaller, we would have people spend a week or two answering emails and talking to customers before they actually did their role. So it was part of their onboarding. And
I love that.
And really, I think there's some kind of weird stigma about customer service, customer experience. I'm going to use those interchangeably. By the way, I don't really. Sometimes I say one, sometimes I say the other.
Well, actually, so it's confusing, and this is a good point because some people are like, "What's the difference?"
Right.
The way I look at it is, customer support is reactive, and it's a lot of times you're in the inbox answering tickets, and you could do way more than just that. But that's where I call customer support, where customer experience, I think, is even before the customer even checks out. It's what did they see on social media to what happened on the website to what happened after. You don't even have to reach out to customer support to be a part of the whole customer experience. So for the listeners, that's how I define it. And, we interchangeable. It is hard to determine which one's which when I'm saying X, Y, and Z.
No, I love that. I feel like I think about it in a similar way, but have never intentionally thought of it like that. So I'm probably going to steal that from you, at least in my brain.
Take it.
I love it. I love it.
So, okay. So you when was that actually going back? Do you
I
think
was talking about like a weird stigma
Yes.
with,
Oh, yes.
with
Yeah.
customer support. I think like some people like aren't super proud to have done customer support. And like, I like learn so much. Like, I love it. I am the first person to be like, I started here. And then when you say that, other people are like, oh, me too. And me too. Like, you just like, I really feel like because of that experience, like I truly empathize with the customer, and not just in some sort of like BS way where people are like, I want to be customer centric and everything. Cause like you hear all that stuff all the time where it's like, I feel like I really get it. Like they've gotten back and forth 5 times and it took 2 days to reach out and they're just like done, you know,
Yes,
they're
yeah.
done. And it's like, you don't ever want to serve up that experience.
Yeah. I need to connect you with, actually, I don't know. What help desk do you guys use?
We are using Gorgeous
You're
right
using
now.
Gorgeous? Okay.
Yeah, we have a funny little story there. We started off at Gorgeous when I was in customer service, and then we moved over to customer, and we're back with Gorgeous now. So yeah,
I'm a Gorgeous fan, but I need to connect you if you haven't already with the team because they're all about elevating the customer support role. And one time they put us into a room and it was like 5 or 6 of us like CX leaders, and we basically like ranted and vented about literally that. Where like when we first started in customer support, we wanted to be like, yeah, I work in customer support, you know, because it's like people don't get it. They think customer support and it's not glamorous, but when you're doing it, you're like, I feel like I'm running the entire business. Like this is, you understand it's like why the business keeps moving forward, because everything that happens in the inbox affects everything. And if you don't tell someone that a problem happened, it could like essentially ruin the business. So I resonate a lot to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, bad customer service, you can do a lot of damage for sure. And then, but also, you know, you can make evangelists and kind of just create amazing experiences, and you can do a lot of good too.
Yeah. Okay. Love that. So, first question, do you think that playing poker helped you in e-com at all?
Yes.
Okay. How?
So, yeah. Poker is really challenging. People who are going to succeed at poker, especially like now, it's even gotten harder with like all these different bots and like machine learning where like machines can like play it almost better than anyone in most games. So like people are like playing against a machine to like learn how to play. But yeah, poker really taught me how to think logically about risk. And I think like being comfortable taking calculated risk is really important in e-commerce. I mean, really in all of business, but I think a lot of people are kind of hesitant to take risks because they don't want to lose. And there's also like a stigma with gamblers who like that a gambler is like super like just taking on a lot of risk and kind of foolish risk. And it's actually sort of like the opposite. Yeah. I mean, if you're like, you know, a recreational gambler and like you're losing money, then yes, you're probably taking too much risk.
Right.
But if you're actually a professional gambler, like you really understand what risk you should be taking. And I think a lot of even like business leaders, they don't take enough risk where like they're probably going to like have a negative outcome like 80-90% of the time. But when they have a positive outcome, it's going to be like 100x positive. And it's like they're not taking enough of those risks that have like huge upside, like uncapped potential.
Do you have an example of a risk that you took and it worked out?
Yeah, I mean, I have examples of them that worked out, and my funny story is actually
your
one that
moment?
didn't work out.
Okay, let's hear your laughable, not your risk that didn't work out first, and then we'll
hear the one that worked out. Okay. A couple of years ago, we were mainly a one-time purchase business. We about like 30% of our customers that we acquired were subscribers. And then of course we had like a lot of recurring orders as well. But I guess we didn't know if that was good or bad. I mean, every business is different. It didn't seem like bad, but also like relative to 100% or like almost everyone, it also definitely did not seem good. So there was that kind of issue. And then also,
wait, let me so you had a lot of one-time customers, not a lot of subscribers. Is that what you're saying? Or people who didn't come back?
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
So when we acquired customers, we acquired them mainly as one-time purchasers.
Right.
And then like, a decent amount would repurchase, but not as many as we were like hoping necessarily.
Yes.
Or, I mean, that's like our product is weird. Like we sell cold oatmeal online. Like we don't expect everybody to love it. And like, that's okay. Like we're not trying, like we do try to appeal to a lot of people, like on a trial basis, like try us out. And the people who love us, like really do love the product and order it again and again and again. But there's some people who just like the consistency is weird. Like they, what the heck, cold oatmeal.
And on that note, I've seen people go to bat for oats overnight because like someone's like, I don't know, I don't really like it. And then like someone who loves it is like, but it's probably the way you're mixing it. And like, have you tried it this way? Have you tried it this way? And like, they're like, no, you do like it. You're just not making it right. It's so funny to watch. I've seen this debate happen a lot.
Yeah, no, we actually have this Facebook VIP group which if anybody's watching here who wants to like build a community, I strongly recommend a Facebook VIP group. We just hit 100,000 members in that.
Congrats.
And it's a fun group. Like I love it. I'm frequently, commenting in there, and people are like very fired up about oatmeal, about our product. Like sometimes like there will be real like drama, like oat drama, as we like to say. Yeah. But so someone will come in at times and be like, oh, I didn't like the product, or like I had a bad customer experience. And like they'll get like 100 comments of people being like you're lying, you're like, where it's like, things happen. Like I'm sure there's some like we don't expect the product to be loved by everybody. Yeah. But they're very protective of the brand.
Well, so sorry I'd cut you off because I remembered that like exact moment. But back to your risk that didn't work out. Okay, so you had a lot of acquiring customers, but then...
Oh, wait, this is the one that did work out.
Oh, it did work out. Okay, yes. All right, is everyone following?
Risks, are the
followers or the listeners following? Okay, this is the one that did work out. Okay.
Right. So this was a few years ago. We had about a 30% of the customers that we acquired initially first order as subscriber. The other 70% we acquired as one-time purchaser. And as most people in e-com know, like subscribers are generally worth a lot more. Mm-hmm. So we looked at that and we thought, well, how could we, improve this? How could we get this 30% up? Mm-hmm. The second issue that I was noticing here, and this was recently after I like graduated to director of e-com. So I was like pretty new here. And I was just kind of like going through all the data and really trying to like understand like the business through this new lens. And so I was looking and I noticed that a lot of the customers that we acquired with our lowest like entry price point mostly came in as one time, and then those people often didn't like rebuy. Right. It was like it felt like this pattern of like there was like the price was just low enough, so they saw the ad, they think it's a cool ad, I'm gonna try it, but they were like never probably really gonna like
not really repurchase. Qualified customers or whatever. Right,
yeah.
Right. Okay.
The cost to acquire them was very attractive. It was like relatively cheap, but like the value really wasn't there.
Right.
So I went to our CEO and I said, what if we remove that option altogether? So like we kind of force them to go to a bigger size, but to give something back, we give out like a deep discount for first time subscription orders. So we went and we ended up, our CEO is awesome, Brian Tate. He's the best. He's
also his friend from poker. So
yeah, he's my friend too. So we know each other. We go way back. So he does trust me. But this was definitely a big risk because like this initial 8-pack was our acquisition, product. Yeah. So like I think it was like about 50% of our total sales came from it. So it's like, it seems like from the outside, like kind of insane. Like you want to, of course you were trying to grow.
Yeah, like how do you give up? Yeah.
Right. How do you just like, oh, we'll just get rid of it. Right. So we did that, but then because we were selling mainly only 16 and 24 packs now at like a much higher AOV, we're able to justify this deep discount for the first subscription order. So what happened was was pretty awesome, really. Our first time subscription rate went from 30% to like 60 something percent in the first month.
Yeah.
And then as we optimized, we're at almost 90% right now. And like the LTV just skyrocketed,
right?
Like that blended, LTV of the cohorts. And
yeah.
I know, sorry if I'm saying
you're
people,
okay.
hopefully.
LTV is lifetime value. And then cohorts are like when your subscribers drop off or not, and like how long they have become or have been a customer. So yeah, you're okay.
Awesome. Those cohorts, the LTV like month over month just went up tremendously.
Wow. Yeah.
So that really changed the business, and it would have, in most orgs, it probably would have not happened, at least not nearly as quickly, because like we weren't in the spot where we were like so desperate that we had to do something crazy like a Hail Mary.
Right.
Like things were still going well. It was just like, but like you don't know how well they can be unless you're kind of changing and you're willing to sort of gamble, take calculated risk on some of this.
That's awesome. Wait, okay, I love that. And if we have time, I kind of want to go back to it because this low value sample type initiative, I see in a lot of brands, and I've seen so many different tactics. So if we have time, but I want to hear your laughable moment. So is this a risk that you took and it did not work out?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
I'm excited.
It's a fun one. So this was also a couple of years ago. Our creative we have this amazing creative team, internal creative team. And a big strategy of ours is just to make a ton of creative and kind of just see what sticks. So this was in the summer a couple of years ago, not our peak time. We're normally Q1 is like our peak time. And, CAC is like decent, but it's just not like that great. There's definitely some creative fatigue. So we're like if we had what we call like a new pillar, like basically like a new type of creative that we could like crank out a bunch of, that would be immensely valuable. Like those, we've literally seen like step changes in the business because, I can't really give out the secrets of like what creative, but if you find creative that works, it can dramatically change your business. So we had this kind of off the wall idea of like I'm sure people have heard of like these like scammers before, where it's like they kind of come in with like the face like blurred out, and they're and they're like, I'm gonna try to do the voice without laughing, like this company, like they're such suckers, like you can take advantage of their refund policy. So we did like something like that was like pretty real, but like clearly there was like humor injected in, and we tried to like inject some of the value. So it was like clearly like not an actual scammer, but we told people to try the product. And then we were like really showcasing our refund policy because we have this super generous policy. Like, we'll always refund, basically. Right. And we told them, and we were like, even if you like it, like just reach out and get a refund. Oh no! And we're thinking, like our refund rate at that time was very low. Like,
you're like nobody's gonna refund. Oh god, right. I'm scared.
depending on the month, it was like anywhere from like 1% to like a couple percent. Like it kind of really depended on how much we broadcasted the refund policy. But it was super low. So like we could afford for the refund rate to go up like quite a bit. Like if it doubled, but like, we
That's
got a
such
good
an
CAC
insane
here.
risk you were willing to take. This is great.
It was a big gamble for sure. The ads came out great. Like we loved them. So we allocated 10% of our spend for like 6 weeks to these ads. Right. And at first, it was really kind of a perfect storm because at first, like the CAC was like low, like quite low, and we're like,
and
this
CAC
is good.
For the listeners is cost to acquire customer, CAC. I was like, wait, what does CAC stand for?
So the CAC was really like, it was attractive, and this is just kind of like the first iteration of this. So we were like, if we could optimize this, like this could be massive. Yeah. So we're like trying some different ways. Some are a little more aggressive, some are less. Some we have like an influencer come on.
Wait, do you have like, can we see some of these? Like, could I insert some of these videos?
I could send you, yeah.
Sweet. That would be so good for the...
Actually, at ChargeX, this was like an example of risk that I used, and I played like a video in front.
So
let's see it. I'll definitely show you. I don't do it justice with my like.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll put you doing it next to that.
Right.
See who does it better. We can vote below who's better.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah, I'll send that to you. Where was I here?
You were optimizing. You're really good, like
Right.
optimizing the different creative.
Right. So we were optimizing the creative, which probably it sort of allowed us or kind of forced us to spend a little bit more on this than maybe we would have spent otherwise. So anyway, but we ended up not really spending a ton on this relative to like the amount of total spend. It was about 10% of spend for 6 weeks, which seems like totally reasonable for a test, right? So refunds is a bit of a lagging indicator.
Oh, yeah.
So it takes a little bit. So like we started seeing after like 4 weeks or so, like refund rate, like it starts to go up quite a bit. But like it was weird because like we started off spending very little. So like refund rate wasn't actually, it was like not good, but it wasn't like horrible.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon it became apparent like might be a real problem. So we like just shut off the spend. At one point our refund rate went up like 500%.
Oh.
I mean, like it went to, there's 1 month, there's a couple months, there's like a month and a half, like the cohort there is like really effed up. Like it is ugly. Like we acquired a lot of customers,
Yeah.
but like so many asked for refunds.
You could basically look at them as like a bunch of free samples, like
Right.
aggressive free sampling.
Well, also, we know that some of this got into these like Reddit chats where like people are are really like bad actors and just
And
like
they're like, if
take
you
advantage.
email blah, 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 they'll give you a
Right.
free, yeah.
Right. So I guess we learned that if you tell customers to do something, that they're going to do it at a pretty
Yeah.
high clip, which is something we probably already knew. But like, it is a good lesson to reinforce. And also I think just in general, like don't poke the bear, you know,
That
like
is so good. Yeah.
yeah. But so that's our funny one.
This is kind of random, but speaking of Facebook groups and telling the internet and word spreading, when I worked at Ghost, we would give free samples and it was super inefficient. Someone would email us in, ask for a free sample, and customer support would, in the HQ, pack it up and send it to them, like handwritten.
Yeah.
And somebody in a bariatric Facebook group posted, hey, if you email Ghost customer support, they'll send you free samples.
Right.
And in one day, because when you get like the bariatric surgery, you could only drink protein or something
Right.
for whatever. And in one day, we had like 200 requests for free samples, and people being like angry because they didn't know we were like, they didn't know we were hand doing it,
Right.
and being like, well, you gave so-and-so this, and we're like, we just can't keep up. So sorry. And it was like bogging down our queue. And it was so crazy when the word spreads out about anything free, people are in the inbox.
Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me. I can really empathize there. Whenever you have something like take off there, it can quickly bog down the whole CX team.
Yeah.
Especially when it's something free, like you said.
Mm-hmm. So I heard you have a question for me.
I do have a question for you. I'll put you on a spot a little bit. No, in a fun way. So I know we were both at Shop Talk this year, and I heard something kind of scandalous. I heard that you ended up at a police station one night, and I wanted to hear the full story. I've been dying to hear it.
It's so funny. Were you in so every event that I go to, I make this group chat and it's called Emotional, right? Okay. So I call it Emotional Insert Event Name Support Humans. So it's like, this one was like Emotional Shop Talk, or Shop Talk Emotional Support Humans, because I really don't want, I used to go to events alone and just, butting yourself into conversations or being like, am I allowed here? Who are these people? It's really, really hard. And so before events, I try to get people in a group chat that I know are going, especially if they're going alone, and I put them in this group chat. So I was putting updates in this group chat about this crazy situation at Shop Talk. And it wasn't the police station, it was Caesar's Palace's jail.
No, I like that even more. It sounds even shadier. All right. No.
It was Caesar Palace's jail. We were which is, I'll preface this by saying that I do forgive this person who did this to me. Because, drunk things happen, whatever. But we were leaving Omnia Omnia. Yeah, Omnia. You're a gambler. You know all the places.
I know. I'm not.
Yes,
I know
one of those.
Yeah.
And I was, I took my shoes off because my feet hurt. But when we were leaving, I was putting my shoes on, and I bent over a little bit in my dress. I wasn't wearing anything crazy scandalous or anything. I was wearing a little flowy cocktail dress. And this girl came up to me and she was like, "You're a prostitute." And I was like, "What? No, I'm not." And I think I don't know, maybe my little butt was hanging out just when I was putting my shoes back on very briefly. And she was like, she started saying "Oh, I have an actual job." And I was like, "What?" Who are you? And also she looked like someone who was there for Shop Talk. And so I was like, what's going on here? I'm so confused. And then just long story short, she ended up, pouring her drink on me, throwing her cup at my face. She splashed her drink on me, threw the plastic Caesar's Palace gift cup, whatever it is, at my face. Just because I was like, wait, what? I'm not a prostitute and I have a job too. What? I'm confused. And she was just very angry and I was just so confused. And so Jackie is a lawyer. She was with me. The podcast knows who Jackie is. She went I turned around and I was like, because I was just so in shock of what's going on. I didn't do anything.
You were at Omnia with your lawyer, right? Pretty standard.
I'm just at Omnia with my lawyer.
Right.
But I turned around and Jackie's soaked. I felt very wet. No, Jackie got the backfire of the drink and she was not happy. Jackie, you don't want to make Jackie angry because I was just going to be like, wow, I'm going home anyways. I guess I have to sit in the Uber wet, but I'm on my way home. Jackie was like, absolutely not. There's a security guard. There's a security guard. There's 3 cameras. You're not going anywhere. Jackie pulls this girl. Well, she didn't, but the security guards pulled her out of the the Chevrolet that she got in that wasn't hers. And she was like,
oh, she tried to escape. She
was running away. And, she was slamming the door on my hand and trying to get away. And so then the security guards brought her because she was screaming at us. And so they brought us all to Caesar's Palace jail and they took little statements and it was this whole thing. But it was just so random. And I really just wanted to go to sleep. But Jackie's like, no, we're getting justice. This is I'm God.
It's quite a story. You got a good story out of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and then the next day I saw her at an event for Shop Talk. She was a Shop Talk goer.
Did she recognize you or
I don't know if she was at one of the events that one of the sponsors put on at
an angry vendor or something what?
I don't know. She didn't know who I was. She thought I was a prostitute.
Right.
I don't know. She just didn't like that. But I ended up and it was kind of drama, but someone knew her who knew me and blah, blah, blah. They were like, you don't want to mess with that girl. She's, for me, she's speaking at this event and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys, it's not that big of a deal. I just would an apology or I was saying that I feel bad because it's not me that she's mad at. If she knew me, she wouldn't have done that. But it was a dramatic Shop Talk story.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're the sweetest person. If she knew you, that's the last person who you would just soak with your drink.
Well, and then she did end up finding out who I was and reaching out to me and saying sorry. Okay. And so everything's good, but it was I'd never expect to go, if you've never been to Shop Talk, this is how it is. It's a e-commerce event in Vegas. It's that. It's Vegas with an e-commerce and it's crazy. It's insane. So I didn't expect to go to a work event and something like that happen, but it was hilarious, so funny.
It's even a better story because they were part of the event. They're not just some random person at Omnia.
Yeah. That's because when you go to Vegas, people are dressed they're at in Vegas.
Yeah, it's Vegas attire.
Yeah, so you can kind of spot out the people who are who packed their bags not knowing that thinking they're going to an e-commerce event,
Right.
not that they're going to Vegas. And then you get there and you're like, oh, I could have packed my bag with my Vegas clothes, not my
Right.
work clothes. So you can kind of spot out like the people who are like, oh, this is their first time.
Right.
And I'm like, you just look like you're at work, like, and not in a bad way or anything, but yeah, I had a feeling it wasn't someone on like a bachelorette trip or something. It was great. Yeah.
Quite a story.
Yeah. Do you have any crazy stories from Shop Talk? I think you could one up me.
I honestly, no, I can't beat that. I did really enjoy getting like the videos in the middle of the night in the group text.
real
like,
time.
They really, yeah, I really did enjoy that. It was, everybody loves a little drama. You know, and like, I think there was a video of Jackie too, just like raging, like this person, we're going to get, it was.
Maybe we can find those videos and put them in the Let's Laugh About It as well. The episode. That was a crazy thing. Yeah, I don't think anything else will happen like that, but it was Vegas. It's like the place for it to happen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I want to go back really quick and talk about, anyways, subscriptions.
Yes.
For one of the things that I see that you guys do is you put subscriber exclusive gifts in your subscriptions. And I'm sure there's so many things that you did to like build your subscription program, but this subscriber gift, was it before or after the big risk that worked?
It was actually a little bit before.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was a huge program that we started. That was Brian, our CEO. That was his baby. Yeah, and our subscribers absolutely love it. It's it's if you don't have like the operation, like if you don't like own your own operation, like if we were using a co-packer or something, it might not be feasible.
It's hard, yeah.
But thankfully, we're totally vertically integrated.
Wait, could you explain it better? It's like a exclusive.
Yeah, we call it an FID, which is flavor and development.
Oh, cool.
So
a FID, just a FID.
Yeah. so once a month with every subscription order, we will release this like FID. So like a few months ago, it was a chocolate cake. Mm-hmm. So anyone who had a subscription process in that month would get one chocolate cake.
Cool.
And then next month, it would be a different flavor, like chocolate covered banana, or why can I only think of chocolate flavors? Coconut cream. Right.
Chocolate coconut cream.
Right.
Wait, so is it because the packaging is, do you guys reuse the same packaging and then you put like a sticker or like an insert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It has this like special flavor and development to like, we want it to be special and we really want it to stand out. So that's why we do that. And really, we're all about getting customer feedback. Mm-hmm. So we get many thousands of responses on surveys that we send out regarding these flavors. And that feedback really informs like what tweaks we make to the flavor, or if we just like don't launch it at all.
I see. Okay, so when you're gathering the feedback, are you sending it like a QR code on the package, or are you sending a post-purchase or post? How do you gather the feedback?
We have a few different ways. Mm-hmm. We do have the QR code on the package. Mm-hmm. We also have a banner in our portal that has a link that you can use. But the vast majority of the feedback we get is from like an email. We have a cadence where I think it's like 10 days after your order, you get an email asking if you tried the flavor and if you liked it. And that's where most people respond.
I love that. Yeah, because I'm such a survey girl. Like, I think that surveys are very underutilized, and I talk about them all the time. And when people in e-com or whatever like trying to make a decision that's like based on their customers' happiness, I'm always like, well, have you asked them? And they're like, no, but like we should. They're like, yeah, just ask them and then do that.
It's crazy how like some of the most basic, just like common sense, like it's just like, oh, you want to know what somebody thinks, like ask them. But like it's very easy to get into like a bubble and like forget that, or just like, well, let's look at the data and like 8% of people do this, but like they might be doing that for some different reason. Like it is important to like ask the customer for sure.
Thomas was asking me like what the agency does, and so a lot of the things that we do is reminding people how important the basics are, and that's one of the things. Or just even simply, people are going so fast, and then you look and you're like, oh my gosh, my customer support inbox is a mess, and like X, Y, and Z is happening. But getting back to the basics and having that foundation, and I think surveying your customers and like knowing your customers and having community with your customers is one of those like pillar foundations, which you guys do in this Facebook group too.
Yeah, no, completely agree. The Facebook group it's really special. Again, like if anybody is thinking about building community, I highly recommend a Facebook group. We have our teammate Rachel is amazing. Like they love her to death.
Yeah.
And we do cool promotions all the time. We do special announcements. We do like we actually even had we recently hit 100K members in the Facebook group, and we flew like 10 people out to headquarters for the day, and we like had lunch, and they got to meet people, and they got to like taste flavors in development that like are unreleased.
Wow.
And yeah, it was we really try to lean in there, while also like we like monitor the group for like for like obscene stuff, but like we actually don't like. We don't like if somebody says they don't like the product, like we're not like hiding that comment or blocking them. We don't, honestly, we don't need to. The VIPs go crazy and like probably overly defensive almost. Like someone's allowed to not like it. Like that's fine. We're just glad they tried it. You know, maybe they'll give the packs to a friend or something like that. That's
great. Did the Facebook group start as a fan Facebook?
No, it started as ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always interested in that because I feel like it's 50-50, and sometimes brands are like, I don't want to start it ourselves, but then sometimes brands are like, oh wow, there's like this secret Facebook group of blah blah blah. But then I've also seen secret hate groups for like that's bad. So
I hope there's none of those.
I'm sure there aren't, but I've seen both ways. The Facebook community stuff is pretty cool, but I don't want that went by so fast. I'm gonna have to have Thomas back because so many things to dive into. But where can people find you if they want to connect? Don't send him annoying LinkedIn DMs.
Anyone who wants to talk to me over LinkedIn, if you mention this podcast, I will definitely respond.
Wow.
I get a lot of solicitations, so if you don't mention the podcast, don't be angry at me. If I don't respond, I'll do my best. But really just try the product, like Oats Overnight. Go to oatsovernight.com. The product's amazing, and and also like if you don't like it, we will refund you. So.
Wait, do you have a coupon code Thomas discount code Thomas?
We had one, I think, for a while. We're not really doing many discount codes right now because like we have this the discount for first-time subscription orders.
Go.
So it's like built in. So you will get a discount if you subscribe.
Whether you mention Thomas or not.
Right. Regardless, yes.
Well, cool. Thank you so much for being on Let's Laugh About It, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and catch us in the next episode, and thank you for listening.